In the last episode, we saw Will Still win us our first trophy of the save. Being the director of football can lead to you winning stuff, it turns out. Changing from Peruzzi to Still, at the moment, seems like the right choice. We've finished second in the league, and we went into a new transfer window. I've started that transfer window now. I've made already some pretty huge signings that I'm excited to show you. Some youth prospects for the future and some big name players that can start right now. I'm also in the process, or have already sold a couple of names. So there's a lot to update you on. Should we jump into it? I think we should. Hello, welcome back to the Spurs DOF save. Episode number, I think it's episode number 9 today. We're just about to start our 4th season at Spurs, playing as this director of football. We've had Angelo Peruzzi in charge for 2 seasons. We've had Will Still in charge for 1 season. We're about to go into a second one here. We've found the club now in a decent place. One of the things that has most recently changed is this here. As we jump into the save, our overall balance is looking much healthier than it did. If you remember to the end of last season, we're in quite a lot of debt, which was not a shock because I've spent a lot of money on some really big, high-profile players, Camavinga and Bellingham and loads of other ones. And we ended up having a little bit of debt. It's now up to £67 million in the green, in the black, I think we call it, right? It's looking much better. Some of that came through some prize money that came in. Some of it has come in through player sales, which I'm going to show you now. It is the 26th of July. 2025. The transfer window is well and truly open. There's about a month and a bit left of it before the deadline. I'm going to show you what I've done so far, talk you through some of my thinking. I'll show you the players I've bought. I'll show you the players that I've sold. I'll talk you through what my plan is for the rest of the window before going to play it. And then the end of the video will be showing you what I've done as the window closes and we start off our next season in charge at the club. Let's jump in straight away to our transfer history. Can I just stop, pause, slow down? Clayts, chill, right? Sorry to jump in. I just feel like I got very carried away and straight into this episode today. I was so excited to talk to you about everything that's happening in the save and all the transfer business that I'm doing that I kind of just went straight into it. I just wanted to stop briefly and just say thank you so much for all of the support on this series. It is above anything that I've ever done before. So thank you so much for that. I just want to say as well, if you are enjoying it and you've not already subscribed to the channel, please do think about subscribing because we are less than 1,000 subscribers away from 40,000, which would be so cool to hit really soon. So if you're enjoying this and you're not already subscribed, please do subscribe. And also a big thank you to everyone who is supporting over on Patreon. It means way more than you can imagine. Thank you so much for that support over there too. Join in if you'd like to support over there and you get your name at the end of the videos too. Sorry to interrupt myself, but back to the rambling. I'll let myself continue. Cheers for that. Let's go to the club overall screen. I like this screen here because it kind of sums up everything about the club. And if we have a look at what is listed as the starting 11, you may notice some changes here. Some big names have been added to our ranks. Now you must be thinking, how is this the case? Because our transfer budget at the start of the season wasn't very much, was it? We talked about maybe a little bit disappointing because of all the money we spent. I've managed to do what I do, which is to do some wheeling and some dealing, and I've brought in some big names. The first of which, let's start here. He's listed as our key player. Some of you suggested to get a new winger. I did ask and read all of your comments, by the way, in the last video. Lots of really good suggestions about which positions you'd be looking to bring in. Lots of you said wingers to rotate with Kulusevski, especially on that right-hand side. Lots of you are saying another midfielder. I've done both, and there is still some plans afoot to add to these in the future. The first one, Yeremy Pino. I'm very excited about this one. We've brought him in. Manchester City were linked with him. I've decided to pull the plug on this deal here. Pull the plug, pull the pin on this deal, I think it is, right? Let me know. I don't know. Yeremy Pino from Villarreal, one of my favourite wingers in FM23. So good. Only 22 years old, and this is a few years in now. Have a look at some of these physicals. Have a look at some of these technicals. I love the dribbling at 17. Alongside that agility of 17 as well. It's going to be so difficult to deal with. Right-footed, in off the left-hand side is what I'm thinking. To rotate with Kulusevski. If Kulusevski becomes a backup player and Pino can start, outrageously good. We have spent £48 million on him. It will probably go to £80 million with future incentives. Being at Villarreal, this was quite cheap. I mean, 48 is what we've paid so far. It will probably go up to that £80 million mark, which you're also maybe thinking, how have you done that with the money you didn't have before? I think it was about 10 million up front. I've definitely done the installments thing, which is why we end up being in a little bit of debt. I understand that, but I also think on FM, you have to go big with signings. You have to take the club to the next level. And then as soon as you start to go deep into the Champions League, as soon as you start to challenge for league titles, make all of this money back and more, especially if you can do a bit of good business in selling players. So I kind of back myself on that one. And that's why I choose to spend big. I know some of you are like, how much money? Like the Leao deal and things. I get it, but we're being director of footballs. I'm a brave, bold director of football. I like to spend money, and hopefully Will Still can then deliver the goods on the pitch. Pino is the first one. The second one, we moved down through this starting 11 at the moment here, which, I mean, there are more to show from this one. The other big one, though, is Enzo Fernandez. Chelsea, of course, buying him in real life. On this save, because it was pre-update, he was still at Benfica, meaning we could go and pick him up. And a lot of you were saying, go and get a midfielder that can be like a more suited Metzala, a more attacking type midfielder. I know he can play a bit deeper too, but what we really want here, and loads of you said this in the comments actually, is a midfielder that can go and play in the centre mid position so that Camavinga can go deeper. Camavinga playing in this deeper role here. This midfield three, I think, is so good. Maybe, surely one of the best in world football, right? Enzo Fernandez has joined. We have spent on him £30 million, could go to £50 million. This was actually a bargain. I know it's because he's at Benfica and in real life he's at Chelsea, which makes him, or post update, he would have been more difficult to sign, but I've gone for him. It's Fernandez, Bellingham, Camavinga as a midfield. Pino, Leao, Sesko as our strike force. And you might be thinking, where's Harry Kane? Where are some of the other strikers about? There's some stuff to talk about. Let's go to the actual transfer screen now with everything that is happening, and you will see some transfers out. Have a look at these guys over on the side here, some cheaper youth prospects, which I will show you about, or will show you their profiles because I'm quite excited about both of them. But transfers out. The big news is that I've sold 2 players. Rasmus Højlund has moved to Leipzig. £60 million up front, straight into the transfer accounts. And I felt like we kind of had to do it. I know that he's good. I mean, he's good. I love him in FM. And I know that loads of you love him too. And maybe you're a bit disappointed that I've let him go. But he was so far down the pecking order. We've got Sesko ahead of him. We've got Kane ahead of him. There's someone else ahead of him now as well. We'll get to it in a little second. But Rasmus Højlund for 60 million, considering he was out on loan at Valencia last year, I think I had to do it. It's a huge profit. Look, 60 mil up front. I know his value is up at 76 million pounds now, but it means we can go and do business this summer. He's gone out. Let me know what you think of that one in the comments down below. I don't know. I'm kind of... Hopefully he proves me wrong. Hopefully he doesn't, I guess. But I would not be shocked if he did. And then finally, the last big out is Yves Bissouma has moved on to Real Madrid. Yves Bissouma, I think he might be just one little tier below the type of midfielder that we want in our midfield if we're going to go for the title this year. And the fact that they would spend £58 million straight up, there is no future incentives. There is none of that did we get over installments. That is straight up £58 million. This is where we've got our money from for this summer. And we could yet get a little bit of extra money too if we want to do more business. I think that's pretty decent. I've also loaned out Vitor Roque, by the way. He's gone to Lille on loan. I think he's a little bit further down our pecking order. Didn't play that much last year. I think I want him to get some game time and hopefully then come back a more developed player because he does get really good in FM. And then we've signed some youth. Hopefully you enjoy this, by the way. I feel like this is a big part of our DOF saves. I kind of just jumped into it and started talking to you. Loads of you seem to want longer videos and things. So I'm just going to talk to you about the save and hopefully you don't mind. But we're going to do a lot of transfer stuff today because I think there's been a lot of on the pitch stuff in recent episodes with like the cup finals and things. Loads of transfers today and then maybe some more pitch stuff coming up in the next couple of episodes. Today, though, let's go back to these transfers. I've signed 2 youngsters. I've been on the prowl. I've been doing my best scouting for the next generation of player. Looking for bargains, I've signed players from Oostende and Toluca. Oostende, which is in Belgium. I have signed Sylvain Awono, who is a right back who I think has phenomenal potential. He's either footed, can play both fullbacks. I think he can come into the first team squad immediately as far as I'm concerned and cover both of those sides. Could play further forward too, but have a look at this profile. He's 18, Cameroonian youngster, signed from Belgium for 6 million. Literally just 6 million. And I think I only paid 2.5 up front. So, I mean, this is a bargain if you've ever seen a bargain, right? Surely he is. Determination up at 19. He's already got good physicals. He's already got attributes in all the right places. He reminds me a little bit of a Doji. I think we found a real gem here. I just asked what I was doing to find these, by the way, if you are wondering. Kind of a little bit of a bigger peek behind the curtain is I was just doing recruitment focuses. You see some of the completed ones, looking for players that were 15 to 17, 15 to 18. Look, I mean, just using my recruitment focuses, having a look at these near matches on here and signing players from here, because I'm finding brilliant players. I'll show you this one. Here's an example right now that I could go and try and sign from Real Madrid. 18-year-old striker. He's got 17 pace, 16 acceleration, 15 finishing. He's 18, would cost £12 million. I mean, I might even go and do this if we get to the point. He's got a minimum fee release of 18. Like, use your recruitment focuses. They can be so good at finding you really good players for the future. And there are more where these two came from. This is the first one, Awono. The second one, listed as our hot prospect, by the way, Ulysses Chavez Carretero, a Mexican striker with great physicals, fantastic technicals, great finishing at 16. Look, hopefully a load of potential to go and get to as well. 37 to 45 million pounds is his value now, and we signed him for 8 million. Again, about 2 million up front, so it didn't even really come out of our budgets for this year. Really, really excited about him when he comes back. Him alongside Escobar, alongside Sesko, Vitor. We're pretty well stacked, aren't we, in most of these positions now? And I don't know about you guys, but looking for these youth players, these new gens, do you find it so fun? Because I love finding a good one. You're like, this is him. This is who we need to go and sign. I've also done some future transfers too. But before we get into those, a few transfers happened before the tick over, before the new season came through here. And they were some big ones. I mean, I'll just say it. The big one, the biggest one, I've signed Victor Osimhen. I mean, if you've watched any of my content over the years, any of the Twitch stream, you will know how much I love this guy. I mean, he's taken the world by storm in real life, isn't he? Playing for Napoli in that amazing Napoli team this season. I know that we've got Sesko, and loads of you are saying we need to let Sesko come into the team and develop and turn into the beast he can become. But Osimhen was available, and I wanted to sign him, and I've signed him, and he's on huge wages, and I just really hope he can score a load of goals for us. I mean, we signed him for £69 million that could go to 112. I couldn't resist. I literally couldn't resist. I think it was like 20 up front. After we sold Highland and Basuma, we had that money to go and spend. Some of it is that future incentives, these future fees. But Osimhen's in now as well. And it does beg the question, and I asked this over on the Patreon to the board members, now that we've signed Osimhen, now that we've got Sesko, now that we've got these youngsters that could come in, Escobar and Chavez is what I'm just going to call it. Carretero, I think his name was. Do we sell Harry Kane? Do we sell Harry Kane? I think that's what I need to decide in today's video, because he's wanted, or he was wanted by Newcastle, by a few other teams. His value is at 90 million, but I think that's where I set it at. It's actually around about, if I unspecify it, 54 to 73. He's 31. He had that massive injury, didn't he, back in season 1? He's not scoring loads of goals. He got 8 goals in the Prem last year. He got 4 in the season before. Yes, he was injured, but is Harry Kane a problem for us? Because he's Harry Kane, because he will get picked by the manager for every game. If he's not scoring goals, is this a problem? Because I don't know is the answer, and I don't know what to do. I asked the board members on Patreon, and I said, should I be selling Harry Kane? And it was unanimous. Everybody said, sell Kane, sign Osimhen. I've signed Osimhen. Do I sell Harry Kane? I'm going to let you guys write it in the comments right now, and then I can see. I'm going to make a decision before the end of the video, but I guess I can read what you guys said at this point and see whether or not you agreed with what I've done. Tell me right now, should I sell Harry Kane? If we can get, I don't know, 50, 60 million for him, I think that would be really good. It would really help us out financially. It would give us over 100 million here, and we'd be able to have a pathway to the first team for some of these young players that I've signed, like Escobar, and there are more coming in. I don't know. You need to let me know. That's not even where the transfers end, though. To finish off before we go and look forward to the future, there are more signings coming in. Marco Pinto is a youngster who is joining next season, a 17-year-old midfielder, defensive midfielder, playing for Dusseldorf. I've signed him for, what was his transfer fee in the end? £9 million. and we don't pay it till next year, most of it. He is a youngster who's actually at the moment got a broken leg, I think it is. Yeah, broken lower leg, but 20 determination. We needed that deep line midfielder. I think we needed a few more midfielders, especially with Osimhen moving on. I think he looks really good for the future. Let me know what you think of him. And then I think it's not even finally. Then I've also signed Martalotta. I've signed Martalotta players, that's for sure. He is a left back with a lot of potential as well. Very cheap him. He is signing for... Actually, he's not even that cheap. £17 million it could rise to, but it was quite cheap up front. But another left back, because we are a little bit lacking at fullbacks. I mean, we're not anymore because we've signed a few youngsters. But a 17-year-old who is at Lazio, hasn't made his debut for them yet, but I think he's got a load of potential, could be good in the future. And then finally, goalkeeper, Lautaro Bataro. Fantastic name, by the way. Lautaro Bataro. 6'3" goalkeeper for Estudiantes. The scouts loved him, and he costs about £7 million. We are well and truly stocked. He doesn't join for another year, so he comes next summer. But we're pretty well stocked for the future, aren't we? If I go to ins here, you can see where they join. 9th of the 6th, 2026. January for Martalotta. July next year for Pinto. And then Escobar is January of this season as well. The final thing, and I'm a little bit breathless because there was a lot of transfer stuff to update you on there. Mateus França has agreed to join us. We're just waiting on a work permit for him. I had a look at which players had really low values for being really good with really good attributes. This guy looks way too good to be valued at £16 million. I'm signing him for £16 million. And I think he is good enough to play in pretty much any team. I don't know if he's going to be a starter. It's going to be up to Will still. We don't really play with an attacking midfielder or a 10, but he could probably play as that more attacking midfielder in a midfield 3, him or Enzo Fernandez. But for £16 million, I think we could flip him for a massive profit in the future if we needed to as well. So I've gone for that one. That's the transfer business. The squad, let me just sort this, which is on some random thing here. The squad looks a little bit like this. If I unselect if I clear this team selection here and just sort this by positions, we have Costa with Bataro coming in. We have the defenders here. Maybe I'm looking to sell on Jed Spence. He could go. Maybe, I mean, Owono now comes in as the backup left back or right back, so Spence could probably go in that regard. McAllister, is he needed anymore? Not sure. Alfie Devine, by the way, I actually had a look at him. I know we talked about him in the last episode. This guy looks good. I've put him into the first team squad because I think he's homegrown at club, and I think he looks quite good. His attributes are better than I thought they were before. Kulusevski, Edwards, I think I'm going to probably keep Edwards about the place. I know he's not amazing, but he's homegrown at club. Kane, there's that massive decision to make about him. Troy Parrott, I might loan him again. Pino, Leao, Osimhen, Sesko, Dane Scarlett, I might loan Scarlett as well. The squad looks, I mean, it looks quite big at the moment. Pape Mate Sarr as well might go as well. We got a bit of 5 million. I might just let him go for that, to be quite honest. Big breath. That's all the transfer stuff. I think that kind of updates you. What I'm going to go now and do is I'm going to go and do transfers up until the 16th of August, where we play our first game of next season against Manchester City. I think we might watch it in today's episode when I've done a few more transfers up to this point before the window closes. But some big decisions to go and make. I'm going to go and make them. I'm going to go and play it. I'll see you in about 3 weeks in game. And breathe. I have decided not to sell Harry Kane. Well, I say I've decided not to sell him. I did explore the possibility, but if I just go to his profile here, as it is now the 15th of August, but there wasn't really sufficient interest, and I did manage to get a couple of teams to bid for him, and they bid like 30 million or like 35 million, and I just decided I don't want to sell him for 35 million, mainly because the comment section would eat me alive if I sold him for so little. He is 32. He's on big wages. I could kind of get myself, I could probably talk myself into it, but it felt like just a little bit too little for what is a club legend. He's literally just had his testimonial against Porto for some reason. He was actually injured for this with blisters, which is, I mean, ridiculous in itself. But I just couldn't bring myself to do it. Spurs fans, I think you would just hate me. And I don't think 35 million, I think it's worth keeping him for the sake of 35 million. I do wonder what that means for the sake of this squad. If I now sort these by their positions, we are still overloaded in attack, aren't we? We've got Kane, Parrott, who I think is going to be loaned out. We've got Osimhen, Sesko, and then Scarlett. Really, it's just Sesko, Osimhen, and Kane, which three of them, three brilliant strikers. I just wonder if Sesko is going to become third choice, and I don't really want him to. He's the young one here. He's 22. I guess we've got other young ones coming in. We've got this guy here. Oh, actually, it's changed. Silvano Wono is now our hot prospect, but we've got Chavez, who is, I mean, I'll show you in here. I think he's going to be so good, by the way. Where is Ulises Chavez Carretero? I think I've got really high hopes for this guy. I'm looking at his potential here, and he is going to become amazing. So, I don't know. Kane's got 1 year left on his contract, and I've decided not to sell him because there wasn't enough good bids coming in for him. We're going to find out what Will still chooses to do in terms of it. Does he keep picking Kane, or does he give Osimhen a go, or does he pick Sesko? I guess we're going to find out, and it will be his last season at the club. I'm not going to give Kane a new contract, and his contract does run out next year or next summer. So it will be a final season. Will he play loads of games? I'm going to guess he probably does. Will it hold us back? If he does, maybe there'll be big bids, or maybe we cut our losses in January or something. I think for now, I'm going to stick with him. And I've come back today on the 15th, the day before the Manchester City game, the first game of our brand new season, our 4th season. So I wanted to show you this because I think this is important. There was a press conference that asked Will Still the question, are your intentions to attack from the off? And he says, and I love this quote, champagne football is the aim. Sometimes the tactics of the opponent can put a cork in that though. But I like the idea that we've got a manager here who plays a 4-3-3, who's going to go and play champagne football. I think it's just a nice thing to come back on right before the game, which we're going to go and play now against Manchester City. Let's, before that though, tell you some of the updates from the transfer window, because there were a couple very minor things. The big thing that's been going on in my head is, are we going to sell Harry Kane? The answer in the end is no. I have bought a backup goalkeeper. We do have in the future... We have future transfers on here. We do. In the future, we do have Bataro coming in, who I think might be a little bit better and could end up being better at 17 years old, and he's already this good. But I've decided to go and spend some money on Ricardo Ramirez, who's a 6'4" Mexican goalkeeper. I told you I've been scouring these obscure leagues looking for these new gen wonder kids. 18 years old, maybe not quite a wonder kid, but I signed him for, it's 5 million. It was 2 million, no, 1 million up front and then 4 million in the future. So I think he's all right. And he's better than, who was the name of the other backup we had? He's better than Brandon Austin, and he will become homegrown. If I show you on the homegrown status thing, we've got then Iwono and Ramirez that can become homegrown at club, which would add to, already we've got a few of them. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 homegrown at club players. Does include Parrott, does include Scarlett, who might go out on loan, does include Alfie Devine, who I've promoted, does include Marcus Edwards, who is wanted, by the way, on a couple of loans. But we're actually well stocked in terms of players, homegrown players at club, as long as I keep them in the squad. Those are my 2 extra signings. Have also, if I go by date here, I have also loaned out Pape Mate Sarr. He's got a future fee attached to that of £5 million. And Jed Spence has gone to Norwich on loan. They're paying his wages to be there, and 300k total fee too, which I think is just worth it. We've got now a Wono to come in and take his place in that squad. I think he's going to be better than Jed Spence, and it hopefully means that Jed Spence isn't going to play right wing, which he ended up in a few games, didn't he? Off the bench. I think in the final he came on at right wing, which just seems bizarre. So hopefully that doesn't happen anymore. That's the transfer business. There is a couple of weeks left. I think that's probably going to be it pretty much from me though. What we need to do today is get ready for this Manchester City team. Before I do that, there was one thing I wanted to show you, which was this here. I wanted to show you, I think, a pretty useful tool if you're doing your own DOF save, which is to see what is the opinion of your assistant manager or your head coach, Will Still, in terms of who are the best players in each position. This screen here exists in the squad planner, which I did go through and actually do for this season and put the players in the order that I want them to start. I don't know if this has any influence on what Will Still will do, but I've moved Osimhen to the top, then Sesko, and then Kane to third, so that hopefully he does pick I don't know if it influences it. It probably doesn't, but I just thought we might as well try it anyway. But this screen here, really useful to see. It's the best 11 opinion of Will Still. You can see which goalkeeper, which player in each position he prefers to start, as well as his best prospect in each position. Interestingly in this, Mateus França is his best Metzala. I think it's going with the tactic that I've picked. So you might not play these tactics, but if you have a look at what he's been playing most recently, you can see who he prefers in each position, and maybe that can influence who you want to go and buy and things. I think this is good information to have anyway, and I wanted to show you that in case you're doing your own DOF saves, which I know a lot of you are. So anyway, let's get into it. Manchester City is our next game. I'm going to go and get Watching Man to return from a holiday, and he can come and watch this game. If I just search for Man City, go to them and go to their fixtures. I don't know why I've gone to City rather than us, but let's get him to attend the Spurs game there. I'm going to go on holiday, and I will see you when I return, or I see you at the match, I should say. Don't click any of these things. Return after 1 day. I will see you at this Manchester City. I mean, it's a big game to start the season, isn't it? Man City at home. I'll see you there. Okay, so let's find out what Will Still is going to be playing in this first game of the season, who he's going to be playing, who's going to play up front, what that midfield is going to look like. It's Manchester City. The team's warming up, and here we go. Let's have a look at this team first and foremost. I think it's going to be our team first. It is Osimhen up front. Okay, so he has made the change there. Kulusevski, I think that's a Pino injury. It was Enzo Fernandez as well. I didn't see the defence in time. There's the City team with Haaland up front. Rodri. Stones playing centre mid is a wild one. Is it still Pep? I actually don't know if it was or not. Of course, we don't need to look at the table. That looks like it might be Pep. He has... No, maybe it's not actually. Oh, I think it might be Company. Actually, I just looked at the bold head, to be honest. Let's just pause and digest this a little bit. It's a Doji, Bastoni, Romero, Porro at the back. Camavinga's playing deep. That's actually really important, isn't it? We can't see the roles yet, but Camavinga playing as the DM is exactly what we wanted to happen to improve on last season's team. It's Osimhen, Leao and Kulusevski. I'm fairly sure that Pino had an injury. I think he's out for a few weeks and is seeing a specialist. So yeah, he's not on the bench either. This is encouraging. Compared to what we want to happen, this is encouraging. It's Man City, so whether we win this game, I guess, is still up for grabs. But we've got a really good team, and I think I like the lineup that Will Still has gone for. You see him there with his arms crossed. He's just unfolded them on the touchline. Adoji's in the box here. Adoji, Osimhen, debut. Not a debut goal. Deflected over. It'd be cool if Victor Osimhen could score immediately there, but not quite. 5 minutes in, though. Still encouraging. Porro is on this corner. Is he our best corner taker? I guess with no Ward-Prowse in the lineup, he might well be at this stage now. There's Enzo Fernandez. It's cleared. The first highlight, though, going our way. First 10 minutes, looking like a good start for us. They've had a shot, and it wasn't a very high percentage shot with a 0.04 XG. So far, I'd say our team is playing quite well. Do we get to see what their... No, there's no roles on there yet, is there? Just their player statuses. Half an hour in, literally just that one highlight. Here's the second one. Right-hand side, Porro. Can drive into the box, can go alone, can boot it over the bar. And it's going to be a goal kick. The chances haven't been amazing chances, have they? But still, we're dominating City here. I know we're the home side, but we are actually dominating them. Half time, that's a very good first half. I think 11 shots, 4 on target. We've had more of the ball. We've had a really good pass completion rate as well. I'm encouraged. I'm not getting carried away, but I'm encouraged. Let's see what changes he makes as we head into this second half. Porro free kick. Bastoni back post. Did he hit the post? He's hit the upright. Best chance yet. The closest we've come. We're going to get a corner, which I don't know if it's a separate highlight or not. I think it might still be the same one. Leao is straight at Ederson. Another shot on target, though. We're knocking on the door slightly. Any changes yet? No. I'm looking. No changes from the bench. Nothing moving yet. Another free kick. Porro. He went low with that one, which seemed odd. Considering we hit the post from a back post cross last time. Adoji, though, driving back in. Goes alone. Knocks it over the bar. The chances, the highlights don't... I mean, there's a lot of those ones. Bastoni's just controlled that with his back. That was outrageous from him. Wow. Camavinga in that deeper role. Here's Enzo Fernandez. Osimhen. Kulusevski. This team is so good. Please, Will Still turn them into title pretenders this year. Please. Or contenders rather than pretenders. Enzo. Good football from us here. Back to Bastoni. Out wide to Enzo. Picks it up. Back to Bastoni. Patient. We're playing that champagne football that Will Still talked about. Adoji. Can we get that ball into the box? Again, back to Bastoni. I mean, triangles over here. Bellingham. Now we incise through the defence. And Kulusevski curls it in on his left foot. And we've taken the lead. That is a fantastic goal. Genuinely, the football, the patience shown there. We give it to Bellingham, and Bellingham makes that pass look that cuts them open. And the finish is really nice. Left-footed curling into that far corner. Kulusevski on just past the hour mark. And we're leading against City. This would be a really, really encouraging start to the season. I'm now worried that City have the ball. Bellingham's won it back. He's on a yellow card, but he did win it back cleanly there. Enzo. Romero. We're not going to just pump it forward. It is tiki-taka that Will still chooses to play, isn't it? Kulusevski. There's Osimhen running into some space. Needs a bit of support. There's nobody in there. Holds it up, though, for Kulusevski. There's Enzo. Camavinga. We just work it. Play it. Oh, my word, Enzo Fernandez. That was close. I mean, we played some lovely football, then he booted it from 30 yards. It almost went in as well. Pedro Porro with the corner. And it's headed away. I thought it might be. Enzo Fernandez picks it up again. That probably ends the highlight. Maybe not. Camavinga, Bastoni, Udogie. Udogie goes for it, and that one is over the bar. First change. There's Mateus França then for a debut. We saw in that assistant report that he does fancy França. He's just changed as well. I'm just going to pause it to show you. França's playing wide right, or right side of midfield as a CM. We've got Ward-Prowse coming on now for... That was for Enzo Fernandez. He's playing as a box-to-box midfielder. Those are the two changes off the bench so far. Bellingham and Enzo Fernandez going off. And he's changed both midfielders. Ward-Prowse still coming in. Not playing deep. He hasn't moved Camavinga with Ward-Prowse, though. That's maybe interesting, too, for the rest of the season. Has Camavinga got that DM place locked down for himself? França on his debut. Out of his feet. Drives through. It's deflected. Encouraging. I keep saying that. I'm encouraged by the way we're playing. He picked up the ball and just moved past a couple of players. I kind of hope that França turns into a really smart signing. He might well go some way to proving that now. If we see this through, we've beat Man City. In the first game of the season, we've turned it into this weird live com thing where we watch the game, but we have dominated them. Really? 1-0 kind of flatters City there. They didn't have a shot on target. Haaland, 6.2. Our team, Sesko came on late, by the way, so that's good. Sesko coming on ahead of Kane as well there. That's, I don't know how noteworthy it is, but it feels slightly noteworthy. Kane stayed on the bench for the entire game, but Sesko coming on. He played the players in the right positions that we wanted to. This looks good, doesn't it, right? Are you feeling as enthused as I'm feeling right now? Let me know in the comments down below, but we've got off to a fantastic start there. I just want to continue here and come back from our holiday. I just want to show you, before we finish today's video, what the squad looks like as a whole. I feel like I've not really shown you the tactics screen too much today. So we'll have a quick little look at it. We'll have a little bit of a chat about who's going to play where. We kind of touched upon it there. And then we'll finish up for today. And I guess the next video is going to be us playing through all the way till January and finding out how this season goes. I'm loving playing this. Genuinely, I'm loving playing this. Let me just get Watching Man to go back on holiday and bring me back off holiday. We'll have a look at that squad. Okay, so I just wanted to finish off this video by having a little look through the squad with you guys to make sure you are all up to date about exactly what it looks like and some of the behind the scenes stuff as well. Some of the things that I do in between games. Just wanted to touch upon things rather than rush through. I know it's been a lot of tactics and then that game there, but I kind of want to just talk you through things as well before we finish up for today. And some of you, loads of you actually asking for longer videos. So here you go. This is like an extended cut right now. In goal then, our options are Diogo Costa, who, just to update you, he is kind of upset at the moment. He's been asking to leave because Bayern Munich made a bid for him and I had to reject it because I don't know if there's many better goalkeepers that we could go and get. So I rejected it. He is kind of upset right now. His value is 73 million. I'm going to just try and hold on to him. But just in case, I just thought I'd mention that one as well. We've now got Ricardo Ramirez as a backup if we need him. Hopefully we use him in the cup as well. The squad looks a lot bigger than it did last season. I do like to use quite a small squad, but with us playing now in the Champions League, obviously, same as last year. And I think hopefully going for the title, we might just need to be a little bit bigger. And that's kind of where we are right now. At the back, the defense seems pretty solid and sorted, to be honest. We've got Porro as our main right back. I think Sylvain Awono is probably my second choice. Whether it will be Will Still's second choice, we'll have to see. We've got Evans Musa, of course, as well. But, I mean, Awono, I think, is probably good enough to be playing games right now if we need him to. He's got 2 stars according to the star rating system, but I don't think he's that far away as maybe like a complete wing back or a right back. He's got the physicals. He's got great mentals. And I think his technicals are pretty good. He's got the tackling. Look, it's not often that you get these new gens who play wing back and can kind of cross. I know it's not amazing crossing, but he's still got 10 crossing. That's the one thing that doesn't seem to happen, isn't it? He is a right back option. Left back, put it as a full back because that seems to be what Will still plays. Destiny, Adoji and Christiansen and Guardiola. Fantastic options. And Owono, we are more than stacked at left back. If we needed to play any of those first four, I'd be happy. Owono, by the way, is either footed, so I'd be happy to play him on that side too. In fact, I think Owono is, we were just on him, weren't we? I think he's actually more naturally suited to the left-hand side. He's got a strong left foot and a very strong right foot, but he's naturally suited to left back, which is an odd one, but there we go. Centre backs, we've got loads of them. I've put actually I've put Romero and Silva as our right-sided centre backs, and then Bastoni and Guardiola as our left-sided centre backs. I've just given as well, by the way, Antonio Silva a new contract. He signed a contract until 2030. His contract was up next summer as well, so I thought we'd lock him down for a long time. 115k a week, it's a lot, but he's happy to be a squad player as well, so I think it's well worth it. That's a little bit of extra news as well. Let's just remove him from the position. DM, Camavinga, Ward-Prowse, Divine. I don't actually mind Divine. I think he looks really good. He looks like he's got a load of potential, so if he plays games as third choice central defensive midfielder, I think that's fine. McAllister can play there. Fernandes can play there. They are going to interchange these midfielders. We saw Ward-Prowse come on as the left-sided midfielder, didn't we? Right-sided midfielder, Bellingham, maybe França we saw come on there. I think you could happily see McAllister. McAllister or Fernandes play there. Marcus Edwards can play in midfield. I didn't realise that. That's interesting. Do you know what we should do? And I can't do this because I'm not the manager. What we should actually be doing is making Harry Kane a centre mid, like a DLP. I've made him a DLP in previous saves and he's been really good. That's maybe something we should be doing, but I can't, can I? Well, still, if you're listening, do that. Left-hand side of the midfield, we've got likes of França and Enzo Fernandez started there in the last game. Right-hand side of midfield, Pino and Kulusevski. There's the Pino injury, by the way. It's shin splints, 2 to 4 weeks left on that one. Left-hand side, Leao. Are we a little bit light here? Who's our backup left winger? I guess Pino. He's either footed, right, Pino? No, he's right-footed. Is he got a strike? I think he's natural on this side as... Yeah, he's natural as an inverted winger on this side. Fairly strong left foot. So, fairly strong... Oh, very strong right foot. But I guess, yeah, actually, he's more suited to the left-hand side as an inverted winger. I think I'm more likely to see him play on this side, but can kind of play both. He's almost either-footed, isn't he? We are maybe less... Maybe that's less of a worry then with Pino being able to play there too. And then strikers, we know all about these ones. We've got Osimhen, Kane, Sesko, and I have loaned out now. Who's the other one? Dane Scarlett and Troy Parrott. Troy Parrott's also gone out on loan in between, right at the end of that game actually. He has gone out on loan to Pamplona, which is Osasuna in Spain, right? That's the situation. Let me know if there's anything else you want to see, by the way. That's kind of it. I've not done much in terms of staff. I might have a look at staff, but we are full up on our staff members, and I might go through and see, are there any that we can improve on? Because we don't have the best staff, which is always the case in every save. You should be trying to make these yellow, basically, so that they are the best. We have the best sports scientists, so there's that, at least. If there are any other questions, anything you want me to cover in these videos, please do let me know and I can try and include them in a future video. Or I like to do like Gaiazzos and screenshot things to send to you. That's where we're at right now. Oh yeah, this is the thing I did want to show you. The season preview has us down as third favourites for the league. It's put Camavinga and it did put Pino into the Dream 11, but he's kind of dropped out of that now with Salah and Haaland up front. But we're supposed to finish third. I think that makes us title challengers, maybe. Man City favourites, then Liverpool. I reckon we can maybe go on a run here. I hope so anyway. I'll leave you on that positive note for today's episode. Thank you so much for watching. I really, really hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you for continuing to watch this series. Subscribe to the channel. If you haven't done so already, please do subscribe because we're really close to 40k and it'd be really cool to hit that. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. I'm going to do videos every Tuesday, Thursday, maybe in the Easter holidays when I've got a bit more time. Maybe we'll up that number and do a real like 3 or 4 each week. Does that sound good? I think that sounds quite nice. So maybe we'll do that. I know that you want, like, loads of you asking for daily videos. I just can't with work. Basically, I work full time as a teacher. So trying to do daily videos is a little bit impossible right now. I mean, maybe one day. Maybe one day. Thank you so much for watching today, though. Have a lovely rest of your day. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye. Very chatty at the end. I liked it. Nice.